but the next time you're on a ski lift, if you do ski, and you're being taken back up to the top on the chair, try writing a song that reaches #1 in the UK, in the United States, worldwide, while you're on the chairlift. That's what John Denver did in 1973 with Annie's Song, which he wrote in part as a tribute to his wife at the time, Annie. The song is just an absolutely gorgeous piece of music, and he was inspired in the situation he was just in, you know, the beauty of being in Colorado and on a ski hill, and the colors, and you know, just the ambiance of the moment helped the creativity, I'm sure. Here's 1973's Annie's Song. Here are the chords we need for Annie's Song. We need an open D. Now we're going to play around with that open D. We're going to play a D sus. And the way I'm playing that is just taking my third finger off the D note on the second string and flattening it out so it covers the G note, or the third fret of the first string. And then this chord, which is simply taking that D chord, taking the second finger off my D chord. So those three chords based around an open D. The open D, the D sus, that one there by taking the second finger off the F sharp note on the high E string, and then back to the D. Need an open G. Need an open A. And we're also, in my version here, going to play an A sus. And I'm doing that by my A chord. This open A chord here is played with one finger barring the second fret of the fourth, third, and second strings, and then taking my third finger and adding it to the D note, the third fret of the second string. A sus A. A B minor, an F sharp minor, bar chord, an open E minor, and then the only other thing to know is that we're going to take a D chord and do a little step down there during a D chord. But those are the chords you need for Annie's Song. Alright, well I want to sort of get two birds with one stone here. First of all, talk about the intro and the outro to the song, which is... And that's just playing that D, the open D chord, the D sus, back to the D, lifting the second finger off, D, D sus, D, and play through that twice. And now what I'll do is I'll show you the ongoing strumming pattern for Annie's Song. So it's going to be down, a down, then a down, up, down, up. So it's that intro chord, and then like that. You fill up my senses like a night in the forest. So once you have that down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, you've got the essential strumming pattern for Annie's Song, and now you have the little intro as well. Notice how I'm emphasizing that first chord more than the little down, up, down, up. You fill up my senses like a night in the forest. Alright, let's talk about the chord progression. Alright, the chord progression. Well, Annie's Song is not a typical song in the sense that it doesn't go, you know, intro, verse, chorus, bridge, instrumental interlude, verse, chorus, that sort of thing. It's really just made up of 4 times playing through a verse. First time is verse 1, and then verse 2, and then an instrumental interlude that has a bit of background singing in it that's also played to that same verse, and then a repeat of verse 1, and then an outro. So it really, you have one thing to learn here over and over again. The chord changes are wonderful. There's lots of minor chords, which really adds a lot of mood to the song. And it follows this pattern. There's a chord pattern, 1, and then a chord pattern 2 that's slightly different. Then it goes back and repeats chord pattern 1, and then it does 2B, I'll call it. It does 2 again, the second chord pattern, with a slight change at the end. So here's the first group of chords you play. You fill up my senses like a night in the forest. Okay, so we have a G, A, B minor, G, D. Okay, the second cluster of chords. Like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain. So what I'm playing there is G, F sharp minor, E minor, G, and then I changed this a little bit. I really like going to the A sus first. Okay, so we're just going to play that A sus. The A. Then it goes back to line 1. Like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. Now we go to 2B, which is the same as we just played with the G, F sharp, E minor, but instead of going G, A sus, A, we're going to play A, D at the end of the line. So it's you fill up my senses, come fill me again. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do here is play through the whole thing, a little bit of an intro, and kind of singing it, not my best singing, but singing along, so you get an idea of the full progression here, and we'll put the chords on the screen. Senses like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Okay, that gives you an idea of the chord progression that you need to know and to play through 4 times in this song. Now let's add a nice little embellishment. Okay, this is one of those very cool little optional things that you can play or not play. You can include this in the song or leave it out. It's fun to try, and what we're going to do is every time we hit the D chord, twice in each verse, here, you fill up my senses like a night in the forest. Right there, when we hit that D chord, we're going to play this little downscale arpeggio. Those 4 notes, that's a D note, a D flat, a B on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and an A on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. But rather than just play the notes, which would be ridiculous, we're going to hide them in chords. So the D note is hidden in a D chord. The D flat note is hidden in a D major 7 chord, which is just barring the second fret of the first, second, and third strings. But again, we're picking the second string, the D flat note. Then we're going to play a B minor, and just a B minor without the bar, and we're going to pick that note there, sorry, and then back to the D major 7, but this time we're going to pick the third string second fret. So it's this, 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 this. And we're just going to hide that little arpeggio down in those 4 chords. And that happens again in the middle of the verse. Like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean, you fill up my senses, come fill me again. Okay, I said it was optional, but I should show you what the right hand is doing. Again. And that's just a way to embellish that little section of the song. Okay, so just before the playthrough, let's talk about the outro, which is basically a duplication of the intro, but it ends just a little bit sooner. It'd be like this. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. So it ends on the D, the open D chord again. All right, let's do a playthrough. You fill up my senses like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Come, let me love you, let me give my life to you, let me drown in your laughter, let me die in your arms, let me lay down beside you, let me always be with you. Come, let me love you, come love me again. Like a sleepy blue ocean, you fill up my senses, fill me again. You fill up my senses like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. fine-tuning. Sorry that cut off a little quickly there, but I didn't master that ending very well. However, I hope I did master the dynamics a little bit for you, bringing the vocal up in intensity and down again at the end of the song for this last part of the final verse. So dynamics is an important part of this song and this song lesson, as is the basic strumming pattern, which never really changes, some beautiful chord changes, and a little optional picking thing that you can choose to include if you like. There's John Denver, Annie's song. We'll see you next time on Song Mentor.